Guys, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to be working on the lovely Lauren today, and she requested that we do some upper back work. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This video has been brought to you by Cacao Bliss. Just a cool technique before I introduce any oil. So it's called a pincer grasp, and it's just a really nice way to get things moving in the shoulder area. Before I actually apply any pressure, I go in like pretty slowly, especially if I'm working on someone for the first time. So I just like to kind of ease my way into this pincer grasp. So I'm just using kind of moderate pressure, and I like to give my client a heads up so that they know what's coming. Lauren said that she can tolerate a little bit more pressure in her shoulders. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of work my way. The most important thing when you're doing the pincer grasp is that you stay on the muscle belly. If you slip off, it's not effective and it just doesn't feel good. This is a more static motion. So every time that I release, there's just a ton of fresh blood that moves into that levator muscle. It's just really healthy for the shoulders and the neck. And I'm just going to do this one more time. And I'm going to start doing just a few really light compressions with my fingertips. So just trying to get a sense of what's going on from right to left. And if I were doing like full back, I would do compressions all along the spine. If there's any type of even a small curve in the spine, I like to use the pads of my fingers just so that I can get a really good sense of the line of the spine and how I can work safely. Focusing a lot around these shoulder blades today, and my biggest challenge today is going to be to not work too deep. I've talked in my videos about how I just naturally gravitate towards deeper work, and Lauren prefers lighter work. So there's nothing worse than when you get a massage and you feel like your therapist hasn't really listened to you. That's kind of the most important thing you can do if you're wanting to give a good massage to someone, is just listen to what what they're dealing with and what they would like. And I'm going to work on top of the shoulder blade along this infraspinatus. Can help a lot with like chronic upper back tightness, shoulder tightness. And this is also kind of a way for me to give Lauren a sense of the areas I'm going to be working on, and she kind of can have an idea of what's going on today. Really being patient with these levator muscles and just gauging my pressure. going to start to introduce a little bit more pressure in these rhomboid muscles with my thumb. I'm not going to be working a whole lot on these rhomboids, but anytime that someone spends a lot of time in front of a desk or a computer, I like to include the rhomboid muscles. And this is also a chance for me to get an even better idea of any curvature in the spine, so that I can be really careful and efficient when I go in with my elbow later. And yes, you can use your elbow even if you're not doing deep tissue. And I'm going to do a little bit of fascial work here. So I'm just going to stretch this connective tissue before I add any oil. And it's almost like invisible. Sometimes it can feel like a rug burn. But basically, I'm just pulling this connective tissue in opposite directions, just stretching everything out a little bit. This is super healthy for the spine. It's really subtle work that not everyone can appreciate, but a lot of people respond really well to. It's really hard to do myofascial work if you have oil, because it's just, you don't get the right hold. And I'm going to go in with my oil. So I can already tell that there's a lot of stuff going on in Lauren's right shoulder. So just making sure that I save a good bit of time for that side. Focusing more on soft tissue work today, using some Swedish massage techniques. Just really simple effleurage. Feel really nice in these shoulders. And I'm just going to start to work my way into this upper trap a little bit more with my thumbs. I very rarely try to do deep tissue in these shoulders with my thumbs, just because it can be really exhausting, but I really like doing soft tissue work with my thumbs. And it's pretty common for one side to feel a little bit or a lot tighter than the other one. If you're working on someone that has any degree of scoliosis or curve in the spine, you want to make sure that you feel like totally stable when you're working. And I'm definitely taking my time with my thumbs. I really try to listen to my own body. So I like to kind of alternate. If I'm in a session where I'm using my thumbs more, I can't use them the whole time. So if I'm working on someone where I'm going to need to be paying more attention, I'll start with my thumbs just to get a really good idea of what's going on, and then kind of transition to my forearm more, even if I'm not doing deep tissue. And I also feel really confident because I have a really good idea of what's going on in Lauren's spine. And I can go in, feeling good using my forearm, my elbow a little bit. Focusing more on the middle and upper trap than anything. I'm doing this work for Lauren today. And the infraspinatus eventually. I'm going to end with that. So when you're learning to do this forearm and elbow work, I'd say just try to make each movement really smooth. So I've had people do more a rolfing technique where it's really running your elbow quickly across the muscle, but I just don't find that it's as effective in my work. I like to be really intentional and work really slowly when I'm doing forearm work in the shoulders. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of trigger point, which can actually be a little trickier if you're not doing deep tissue. I'm using a medium pressure. I'm not being firm, but really trying to honor what Lauren's preferences are, which is not deep tissue. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this rotator cuff a little more. So this is kind of my favorite position of the arm when I'm going in for this work on top of the shoulder blade. And this muscle is often neglected. So I'm really just taking my time before I introduce any more pressure. My thumbs have had a really nice break, so I'll kind of go on with my thumb. To make the muscle a little bit more taut, you can actually use your opposite hand. And this is an area where you need to use a moderate amount of pressure to get anything done, just because it's such a thick muscle that you can't really do super light work here and get a whole lot done. That doesn't mean you have to use like max pressure, but I'm gonna go ahead and move to the opposite side. And just starting with this left side, this forearm work. I usually start with like the rhomboids and then work my way in. So like working organically is really important, but having a routine and plan is important too when you're working on your client or your friend. It's important to remember too that everyone's kind of in a constant process, and you're not trying to just like fix everything in one session, or I'm just trying to make some progress. So I'm starting to work my way in towards the shoulder blade more, getting into this upper trap a little more, middle trap. I love forearm and elbow work in the upper back. I think it's just super effective way to work, no matter what amount of pressure you're applying. And finally, I'm going to go in with a little bit of trigger point. I encourage my clients to kind of embrace discomfort, but you really gotta kind of keep it in line with what they're ultimately wanting. And I'm just going to open up this rotator cuff a little more. You can certainly do elbow work in this infraspinatus, but I really prefer using my thumb. I love doing trigger point in these rotator cuff muscles. Maybe a little bit more in here, but we're about done. and just kind of making nice. After doing somewhat deep work. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining us today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I wanted to take a second to tell you about our Patreon page. There's some really cool stuff going on there, and you should definitely check us out. And I look forward to seeing you next time. This video has been brought to you by Cacao Bliss, a decadent blend of 10 organic superfoods, including raw, ceremonial-grade cacao. Satisfy your chocolate cravings with a burst of antioxidants and other nutrients. Also available in Cacao Bliss bites that you can easily enjoy while you're on the go.
If you enjoy these videos, please join us at PsycheTruthPatrons.com for dozens of exclusive videos and premium programs. We have over 1,000 videos you won't find on YouTube, such as modeling and fashion hauls, exclusive massage videos, ASMR, behind the scenes, bloopers, and much more. It's a great way to help us keep the cameras rolling so we can continue making the content you love. Patrons will get 2 to 3 new exclusive videos each week, so I hope you'll consider joining our Patreon family today. Just visit PsycheTruthPatrons.com.